In this video, we are going to cover our exploratory data analysis workflow for our store segmentation example. The goal of this workflow is to gain a better understanding of our data so that we can address issues in our data cleaning step and we know what information is available to us when we do feature engineering. Here we are using the summary statistics node to produce some baseline statistics about our net sales column. Next, we want the cardinality of our text or our string columns. And then we want to check for issues using the null values in column node. Finally, we will also use the skewness and kurtosis node to gain a better understanding of the distribution of our data. And then we will be graphing our data. And we will also be creating a month-wise invoice count. Now let's take a look at the output of this workflow. Here in the execution page, the first thing we see is our summary statistics of the sales net amount. We can see that immediately we have a couple of potential problems. The first is that our minimum value is negative $67. This may be an issue, or we might have certain circumstances that led to this odd value. Next, we also want to check our standard deviation. We can see our standard deviation is extremely high in this data set. This may be a problem when we go to do or create certain models. Next, we will be taking a look at our column's unique count, or the cardinality of our columns. Here we can see all of the unique values that exist in each string or categorical column and the count of the instances of that value. Here we can see we have two transaction types, SS and FF. However, a vast majority of our transactions are of type SS. So it may be important to look at these unique values that are of transaction type FF. Here we have the null values in column. While in this case we have no null values in any of our columns, it is always important to check before you do your data cleaning whether this is an issue or not. Finally, we have our distribution of total invoices by month. We can see that we have 3 months where we have the most sales by far: in December, in November, and in October. This makes sense as often in Q4, spending is always higher than in other quarters. It can be hard to understand how these values impact our data as a whole, so we can also provide a little bit of context by instead creating a pie chart. Here we can see that the month of December makes up 45.2% of our sales, November makes up 28.3% of our sales, and October makes up 15.4% of our sales. So these will definitely be months to look out for in the future. Thank you for listening.